Okay, so here we go again, demonstrating some Crocotile 3D. And this time I don't really have much of a plan. I'm just gonna, go by how I feel and see what happens. First, I'm just gonna notify people that I'm streaming. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna add a blank scene, blank tile set. And I'll choose some kind of neutral color, I suppose. Something like that, maybe a blue, dark blue. There we go. And now, just gonna select some area here. Go into the paint tab. Turn on the grid so that I can see how everything's organized. And I'm just going to select some of this, switch to the paint bucket tool and just fill that in. This is going to be some grass, and maybe I'll put some dirt there maybe. Hi, player Lou. Yeah, I'm the software dev of Crocotile 3D. Developing it. Right now I'm just doing a random stream where I demonstrate how to use it basically. Figured that'd be a little helpful for people. Yeah, you've been using it. It's cool. If you have any questions on how to do stuff, feel free to ask. I could show you how to do things. Right now I have really no plan on what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing random stuff right now. I'm not even thinking while I'm drawing this stuff. This is supposed to be like some dirt. And I just randomly created some texture. I don't know why I did that. Yeah. I suppose if you have a plan on what you're gonna make, you just kind of organize the tiles a little bit better. Right now I don't like how this dark brown fits next to this lighter brown. I want to blend it out, so I'm just eyedropping both colors and seeing how the values change down here. And then I'm going to try and pick something in between those just by like adjusting it slightly like that in between. And that should look all right. Yeah. Now there's like an intermediary value there. And what's kind of cool about Crocotile 3D, it has like this 2D editor, so you can kind of just draw stuff and experiment, and then you could kind of just like go over back into the tile set window, and then start placing things in the scene. That. I could go back into the paint tab and just kind of start pixeling some more details. Maybe I want some of the dirt to go down there. I don't know. Not really thinking too much as to like how I want to plan this out, but it's part of the fun with it, I guess. Just kind of experimenting, see how things go. And it's also kind of good to do that as well, because if you think about just the creative process and like how things get made, a lot of times you're just kind of messing around with stuff, seeing what happens, seeing like what comes of it, the result. And sometimes the things that you do kind of inspire other stuff inside your mind, and it just kind of starts unfolding. Maybe I'll do something like that. And I could like pick these other colors. Just kind of experiment with it. And I could go back into the greens and just get like a lighter green color here and just kind of make stuff pop out a little bit using the texture, 2D texture to do that. Everything doesn't have to be all 3D. Use some 2D tricks to give some interest to the spaces that you incorporate. Something like that, maybe. Maybe I need like a lighter green, maybe something more a little saturated. That. So we have that there, and then we can kind of, I don't know, select that, and then we can like place it in the scene. And what should we do with that? So we could have this other part go down in front of it. Like I can move this over here and just select this tile since I know I'm going to use that one. And maybe we'll just do the same thing for these other sides, these other areas. Well, you could see how it unfolds. And I could also zoom in. I could take that wireframe off as well if I want to, just to make it a little bit easier to see. I can move these around, maybe align it better, like that. And you know, you could like select the vertices and move those around. Everything doesn't have to be so square or rectangular. You can make things more, you know, organic looking. But I'll leave it like that for now. Then I can just kind of go back in, mess with the pixels, stuff like that. Kind of fun drawing at the same time, just kind of coloring things. I don't know, something about just drawing is kind of fun. And in a way, like Crocotile kind of lets you kind of draw stuff into 3D basically. It has more of that 2D workflow, I guess. So if you're like primarily like a 2D artist, which I am, this program kind of probably would suit you better. So yeah, I'm just drawing random details here to kind of fill these spaces. Don't really have much of a plan, just kind of experimenting, seeing how it unfolds. That's how the creative process works, basically. To kind of see what's there, what's hidden, you know? Stuff just kind of emerges out of your mind, basically, as you look at things. I originally had like a general vague ideas as to what I wanted to do. I'm not like a zombie or anything. I'm just kind of, I know I wanted to create like some sort of scene with the tiles, some sort of environment. I know that much, and I know that in a lot of places there's dirt and grass, so it seemed like a safe thing to create. We build a lot of stuff on that, on the ground. I might start like talking all weird, cause yeah, I'm creative like that, you know, creative type, likes to think differently. And like with Crocotile 3D, I tried to be different with it. When I developed it, you know, there wasn't anything like it, so I needed to make it myself, basically. That's why I made it. So I thought, hey, other people could use it, so I was like, might as well keep developing it for other people, make it better, that sort of thing. And it's been cool seeing other people make stuff with it. People have been creating like games using it, creating their 3D assets and stuff. And yeah, that's cool to see that. And I've like played all the stuff that I've seen that people have made. I also share what other people post on like Twitter and also I try and collect all the stuff that I see. Because it also like motivates me as well to kind of keep working on this and developing it, knowing that other people get some value out of it and that sort of thing. So yeah. And you know, I'd rather work on something that I made rather than, you know, do stuff like as like a job, you know. But yeah, that's where like I'm really appreciative of people that support me, that doing this type of stuff, because it feels more rewarding this way, I guess. I don't know. Like stuff that I do has more meaning to it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So right now I'm just kind of making more tiles. I guess I should kind of think a little bit what I want to do regarding these tiles down here, because as you see, I just kind of subconsciously, I just kind of following the same pattern that I was following up here. I wasn't really thinking when I did this part right here. So I want these tiles to be slightly different from those top tiles over there. Maybe I was thinking maybe like it could like transition into some something else. I'm not sure what. Maybe like some root system, some like underground dirt structure. I'm just trying to explain what I'm thinking. So I want to use a different color, maybe something darker. Looks alright, I guess. Maybe I could use like just a black as well, just kind of make it pop out a little bit more, something like that, just to kind of give it a little bit more definition, or what's the word? I guess definition works. So many different words to describe the same sort of things in life. It's kind of crazy. And if you think about it, it's kind of the same as like art itself, you know, so many different ways of expressing stuff, different styles and that sort of thing. You know, the way that I talk or the words that I use has its own style. And that also kind of can be a little, what's the word? Kind of give you a little more confidence, I guess. Knowing that it's just a style. That's all it is, it's just a style. You know, every artist has like their own style. That's what makes them unique, I guess. And like you develop it like naturally, you know, it just happens. Like you don't even think about it because it's like a part of you, you know? It's just like a part of your being, basically. Like the things that your mind just kind of builds a preference for, I guess. Like the way that your hand moves, or the way that your mind follows certain details. It's all just like some natural process inside your brain that you don't really think too much about. Or you've thought about it in the past, but because you do it so much, you don't have to think about it anymore. It's like just something that you've accepted, basically. And when you're like still like young or whatever, things are like more random. You don't really know what you're doing. And then you think you know what you're doing, so you just keep doing it. And then that's what you do, and it's like, well, that's what I've done because that's what I needed to do, or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, just kind of rambling. We have like this area down here, so I'm just gonna fill that in right there. Just kind of separate it from the top area, make it a little different. You know, like the colors themselves kind of build like this context towards the details that you're making. like this brown. I made it all brown, and now that kind of makes it feel different from the green. You know, everything has like a different feeling to it, different sense. Like, it causes like a different like frequency in your eye, like due to like the different wavelengths that are hitting it. You know, it's all different. There's like different characteristics. It stimulates your mind in different ways. That's why you see it differently. You know, your mind has to discern between one thing and something else. You know, it's just natural, basically. So I have like these tiles here. And I want to like build it down further, so I'm just gonna, you know, grab these over here. Actually, I'm going to go back into the tile set and just kind of select that, and let's see here. I'm gonna move my crosshair down to align it better. I'm just gonna place these here, just kind of like a placeholder. Just kind of serves to allow me to see how things are looking in the 3D world. I mean, it's not, this 3D scene isn't all that, you know, amazing at the moment. It's just like two surfaces, basically, like a top and the side. But I can make it more interesting. I could like go back into stuff and like split things, split the tiles, add more shape to it if I want. Or maybe, you know, let's start doing something about that. Like let's think about this. I could, for instance, maybe I could bring this out like that, and then I could take another tile. Let's say, which tile should I take? Maybe, I don't know, maybe this tile. Actually, hold on a second. I just want to, before I do that, I want to select all of this and go into painting, and then I'll just kind of draw some vague details, just some general details, so that when I'm working with them in the scene, I know like what I'm working with, because right now all the tiles look the same basically. What I want to do is I just want to choose color. I'll just make a new color since I'm not satisfied with any of these other ones, and I'll just kind of, I'll select these because I want this kind of like to go into like some rock texture. I'm thinking rocks are on my mind, so that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do that, and then I have some area over here. Maybe I'll use those right here, and I'll make those rocks. And I'll choose like a darker value, and actually I'll choose a lighter value, and this one will be like the top of the rock. So I'll just like do that. I'll just scribble right there, so that way I know that tile corresponds to the top of the rock. And then maybe like this, maybe I'll choose a little darker value, and I'll do something like this. This will be like the side of the rock, and maybe this will be like underneath it, something like that. Okay, and this other tile, I don't know what that tile is. We'll decide later. So I could like go back over here, and actually I could go back into the tile set and the scene, and then I could like move this down, and yeah, put that there. And then I could choose this other tile here, move the 3D crosshair like that, put that there. So now like we have like this this thing jutting out from the side. And I could also do like the bottom of it with that tile right there. I don't know how it's orientated, so I'll just go back in here and draw some details like that. So now I know how it's orientated, and then I could go under here and just place it like that, I guess. I don't know. So now we have that. I'm going to change this just to make it a little more interesting, just so that things aren't so square. And then I'm just going to do that basically. It makes it a little bit more interesting. You know, I could like move that like that just to like make it slightly different. Right? Doesn't need to be exactly square, whatever. Move this one out to the side. Change the way it triangulates like that. You know, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it like that for now. And then I could like go back into Paint editor and just kind of work a little more on the details, 2D details, textures, and things like that. Choosing the colors. I have these basic colors here. I can just kind of like draw some rock stuff. And then I have like this dark color, just kind of eyedrop that and draw some stuff here. You know, kind of drawing the cracks or the places where things recede, you know, mentally or psychologically. Like there's these different ways that we think or we view the world, like with our perception. And as like 2D artists, they kind of play on those preferences in our mind on how to think things are when we see them. think how things are when we see stuff. I don't know if I said that right. Trying to do stuff and talk at the same time. It's confusing. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing some detail work here, and I could like go and mix the type of details to gradually create like this transition. And like I just did that, and that's pretty cool looking in my opinion. You know, it doesn't take much for something to look kind of interesting. And like with the balance of like the shapes and the spaces and the proportions of how it all fits together, it creates like an interesting thing to look at. And 2D artists know how to make that more or less interesting, I guess, based on like the different types of choices that they make, where things are placed and how things flow across the space and that sort of stuff. And the colors, type of colors, like I was saying before, like the different colors and the wavelengths create different feelings in your eye, which stimulate your mind in different ways. And it's the same thing with like the shapes as well. You know, certain shapes give different feelings, like rounder shapes are softer and kind of blend and have like a more, they have less distinction to it. So your mind kind of flows across it more fluidly, or more smoothly or whatever. Whereas other stuff that are more structured, more hard, and have sharp edges, they create like this sharper interest inside your mind, and it causes your mind to kind of stick to it more, or kind of get pushed by it, and so it like stimulates you in like a different way. And so you get like these different feelings and that sort of thing. And so like 2D artists, they know how to like mess with that sort of characteristic, or what's the word? That quality, I guess. I don't know. Just interesting to think about. And like a lot of this stuff you don't think too much about, especially if you're like new to it. and you're just like starting out creating stuff, you don't think about stuff like that. Like only after you've like built some way of acting where you don't have to think, then you start thinking about weird stuff like this. Like a lot of this actions that I'm doing while I'm drawing, like I'm not really thinking of what I'm doing. It's just happening because like my mind is already familiar with like the different ways of doing things and how stuff is positioned, and a lot of it's just like patterns repeating over and over again inside your mind. And you know, when you're doing that, you just start thinking about other stuff, like why am I doing this, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, or maybe that's just the way my mind is. I don't know. Maybe other people are different. You know, I only have this mind. I don't know what other people think about. So maybe this is just my style, my way of thinking. Just like artists have their own styles that they develop, you know. So maybe this is just my habit. Specific way that I prefer to think about stuff. I don't know. Maybe that makes me a little different. So I'm just kind of like drawing here. I know that this is like the side of this rock that's jutting out. So I want the back side a little darker. And it also kind of creates like this edge between the side and the front, you know. You know, these edges to things, you see them everywhere. Like they're represented in different styles, just like the artist's style. You know, there's different qualities to life that emerge in different styles, different ways. Like all these edges and limits and boundaries to things. You know, if you look at the world and how there's different countries and different cultures and that sort of thing. It's all these different styles, basically, just like an artist's style that they develop over time. And you know, the cultures, that's what happens over time. You have like these different people like living in different ways, and it just develops over time based on, you know, what people choose to do or what they prefer, you know, spending their time doing. It's what an artist does when they develop their style. It's what they prefer doing over time with their work, basically. What they've chosen to do, basically, yeah. It's kind of interesting. And then like people start having preferences as to what styles they like most or better than other styles, you know, where they should live and that sort of thing. So I have like these lighter color. This lighter color kind of creates a lot of contrast with the gray. I don't know if I need to create another intermediary value there. You know, sometimes things in life create like these sharp edges to stuff that kind of make you feel weird, you know. Sometimes you like stuff a little softer, a little more approachable, I guess is the word. I don't know. More inviting or whatever. I like stumble on words when I'm thinking and doing stuff at the same time. Also, like I'm looking at the top portion, it kind of goes and creates like this sharp edge with the side here. So maybe I need just like some light spot right on the corner over here. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Just kind of make it wrap around a little better. Maybe something there, just so that it's not so straight. Not as much of a distinction there. Although a distinction could be good as well. Like depends what you want to do. And it's just one small part of everything. You know, it all works together. And that's what's kind of cool about it. You know, just like you have all these different styles in the world, all these different ways of acting or living or whatever, it all works together and, you know, somehow makes stuff interesting. Like, you don't always have to do like one style. You could change and try other styles and experience other things. But as far as your own style goes, that can be difficult to do, you know, changing it. It also, because I don't know, a lot of times people trying to think what I'm trying to say here. I guess I could use this intermediary value, this blue. It kind of blends well with the brown. And it also has like this kind of reflective quality to it. With like the, what's the word? Trying to think of like ways to describe the artistic process. Like with the reflective light from the sky, a lot of times shadows can appear blue. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if you have like a lot of blue sky, that blue wavelength kind of bounces around, creates like blue shadows and stuff like that. So that looks all right. I didn't really think too much about it when I did that. It's just kind of random, but it works because like all the details kind of help create this context with what's going on basically. So like on their own, they might not look like much, or you might not know what it is, but because you have all these other details around it, it kind of fills in like the blank inside your mind, and your mind's like developing like a way of understanding stuff. Like it just does it, just like the words that I talk or say. Your mind just instantly knows like what those words are because you've been trained to correlate the sounds with the concepts and ideas inside your head that you've constructed over time, you know? So like I say like horse, and you immediately know it's like an animal. It has like 4 legs and that sort of thing. And you know what legs are because, you know, you're trained, you're programmed basically. And yeah, when you're programmed, you don't have to think too much. You just do stuff, just like with your styles in life, that sort of stuff. Like I'm not really thinking too much right now. I'm just kind of letting stuff unfold and that sort of thing. Over here, it's kind of just blank, so I'm just going to kind of fill it in with the same sort of pattern that I've been doing with the rest of the tiles. And that's kind of part of the difficulty if you want to like change your style and try something new and kind of expand upon it or grow as an artist and that sort of thing. You have to like challenge yourself to actually start thinking. You have to challenge yourself to actually, you know, stop all the like the subconscious or ways of acting, like the just programmed way. Like if you want to improve as an artist, if you want to like grow and challenge yourself, you have to like realize that you have like this programmed way to how you act. And you have to start like questioning like the things that you're doing in your art, and like taking a step back, looking at stuff, seeing whether that's the best way to do it, or if there's a better way to do it, or some other option. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's better or worse or whatever. Just that you're like trying something different, just so that you could see the possibilities, basically. It's kind of the same sort of thing when I created like the Crocotile 3D program. It's like I had this idea that was different, or this different way of doing stuff, and like this way that I wanted to do stuff, and like there wasn't anything that I could find that did it. So I was like, I'll just create it. I'll just try and create it. So that's kind of what I did, and it was very simple in the beginning. You know, it didn't have all the different features that it has now. It was just very basic, and it just did what I wanted it to do, what I needed it to do at the time. But over time, I just added more to it, so it had more capabilities and things. And I'm still doing that. So we have that tile. I'm going to kind of look around the scene and see what I can build from this. Maybe we need like a tile that connects these two tiles here. Maybe I'll create like another tile that does that. So we have that tile that's over here. Maybe I'll use, I don't like that this tile's here, so I think I could just right click and drag this over here. Maybe I'll drag that there, since that's underneath that tile anyways. Actually, no, I'll put it down there. And then I'll take this one. I don't know why I was using that for. I'll just put that there. Okay, so now I have those tiles, and I'll select all of this, and I'll just kind of paint something there just so I know the orientation of it. Sometimes if you're like rotating things like this and mirroring and flipping them or whatever, you won't know how it's orientated if there's no details on the tile. That's why I just drew a little bit on it. So now I know how it's orientated, and I can see that it's like flipped that way, and yeah, that looks about the way that I want it orientated. So I'll just add it there, and I can kind of move this over there. And okay, what are we gonna do here? I could just move it like that. Kind of strange. I mean, yeah, I could just do that. And then I could go into the UV editor right here. So now I could like actually play with like the UVs for this tile. And maybe I'm thinking trying to think, maybe I should move the tile down. Put it down here. Basically, I just changed the UVs where the UV was. And just draw some stuff there. So this UV thing, I can move these around and change them like that. But I want it next to this tile over here. I can click that one so I can see the UVs. So maybe I just drag this one over here. Actually, it's gonna be hidden anyways, so I could just leave it there. And I could go into the paint tab, and in the paint tab I could hide and show those UVs as well, in addition to the grid. But I don't need those on right now since it's very simple. And I'll just kind of draw. I could also deselect those so I could see the colors a little better. And I'm just kind of creating like this pattern that kind of flows up to the other side like that. I don't know, something like that. It looks all right. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just some random shapes. but your mind kind of fills it in, and your mind's like, hey, it's a rock, it's a gray, it's kind of bumpy looking, and yeah. Like if you wanted to be like more precise about it, you could. And that's kind of going into like when you try and become more conscious of what you're doing and figuring out like what the best way is to do something. But it takes a little more time doing that. And I know people are watching, and they probably don't want me to spend like an hour drawing a rock. So we have that there. We could do the other side. We could kind of just like, we could copy this and just paste it and then mirror it, reverse it, and then like move it over here. So now we have this other side here. We kind of move that like that. Now we got like both sides. Or we could have just not done that. We could have like made it a little different, kind of shape things. Like we could like bring this one forward, and where is that? Gotta remember where. There it is. So I could like place this somewhere else. Just to like give it a little bit different shape, and then have like another piece over here or something like that. Doesn't have to be so symmetrical. And like this could like jut out a bit, who knows. I just noticed I didn't finish those details over there. But I need some more tiles to work with, basically. I mean, I could use the same tiles, but then it just kind of gets a little repetitive. And that's what your style does too. Styles get a little more repetitive as you do it. So you rely on the same sort of way of thinking. All these artists and their styles and that sort of stuff. And like some styles are like more successful than other styles, you know. Some people just prefer specific styles more because like they hit all the right spots inside your mind, make you feel things that you want to feel, basically. Like the contrasts and the gradients and the randomness and the order. It's like a mixture of things, like a balance, creates like this harmony inside your mind, and it makes things interesting to you. Makes you keep wanting to look at it, basically, because like, I don't know. It just kind of feeds you like visually. Like a taste or like a flavor or something. Something that you just kind of consume, basically. That's why people like post everything, because it's like a way of like consumption, I guess. I don't know. You'll notice like the words and things, it's all like related in some way, or repeated or recreated in a way, different style. Okay, so I need to like really think about what I'm doing. I need to control my mind and put some order into it. So I have like the dirt on top and the grass edge, and then we have like this rock side. It's jutting out. And maybe I want some plants, some roots, because I was thinking about roots, and you know how patterns are. They come back to you. So like this thought about the roots is returning to me. So I want to create some roots for some reason. I don't know why, just roots. I like the idea of like some long, straight, curved structure. That's what my mind is feeling right now. Later, Lou says a desert oasis. I don't know about a desert oasis. I mean, I could put some sort of cactus type thing. That might be interesting. Maybe some cactus with some roots on it. I'll do that, I guess. I'll try and do that. I mean, why not? You're breaking my style. That's good. Breaking my pattern. Okay, so I guess I'll create a cactus. Why not? With some roots, of course, because I want those. Yeah, I guess that's good. Why? I guess that's a good thing to have other people to bounce ideas off of, because everybody has like their own like ecosystem inside their mind, or processes that are happening, and when like they get combined, weird stuff happens. I'm trying to think right now where to place it. I guess I'll just use this space here, and I'll create some just kind of a base color. I'll use that color because I want some, as I said, I want some roots. So I'll just do some like curved things. I don't know. Seems okay. Could always change it later if it doesn't look right. And it could like go and flow up there somewhere. And then these tiles can kind of be where the bottom of the cactus is, I guess. I don't even know like how the cactus is gonna look. Maybe that color, something like that. I don't know the anatomy of the cactus that well. I just know that it has like spikes on it. They're not called spikes. They're called, what are they called? Needles? I don't know. Probably some anatomical terminology for it. Maybe someone out there knows who's watching. Someone could let me know. That color looks pretty good, I guess. And then I'll kind of create a intermediary value because for some reason I want it a little smoother. Spines. Player Lou says spines. Yeah, that sounds more appropriate. Spines. Yeah, you know, you have all these different words for the same sort of thing. But, you know, people are creative. And there's so many different things in life. I guess that's why you need different words. Otherwise, people just get confused. Okay, so that'd be like the start of the bottom of the cactus. I don't know. And yeah, I'm just kind of visualizing in a 2D way, but also in a 3D way because I know that these tiles are going to be used like in 3D. I'll put that. I'll put these into the scene just so that I can get an idea as to what I'm working with. So I could put this maybe right there, And then I'll put this here and there. And then maybe I'll just kind of raise that up. Like, I don't know, maybe there. Maybe there. No, I'll put it back down there. Yeah, they're called spines. Alright. Apparently it's confirmed, so I'll trust ya. Trust you on that. And maybe I'll create some kind of intermediary tile, transitional tile right here between the grass and the root. I'll just kind of do something quick like that, you know, just to create a little bit of what's the word? Bit of something. I wonder if, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just leave it like that. And then I'll go back into the tile, say I'll choose that tile, and then I'll just kind of that there. Actually, no, I'll put it up here. Does it look better there? I guess it looks better there. I don't know. And then I'll choose that, and I'll do that right there. And then I'll go back in here and do that, and then I'll just kind of continue on, just creating a little bit more details, just to kind of create the context of that change, context for the changes that occur there. That makes sense. Yeah. So now, if we look in the 3D scene, it looks kind of cool. Like we have like this scenario going on there. Different contexts flowing together, changing. Larry Lou wants to know, do I have art knowledge? Professional pixel artist, he's asking. All my life I've been like an artist, so I've kind of just developed it over time. And so, I was born in 1986. And then I've just been doing art since I was very young, maybe a few years old, maybe 2 years old. I don't know. I have like my first drawing that I did when I was like maybe 2 or 3 years old, I think. I don't know. So I've always been like drawing. And around, when was it? Maybe 1996 or 7, maybe 1998. I don't know, somewhere around there. I started doing pixel art and that sort of thing, and like developing games and that sort of thing, programming, that sort of stuff. And so I kind of developed my pixel art skills with that, and it was kind of like I was part of like pixel art community that sprang up around that time, and was like a moderator of that and stuff like that. So I've been around, seen a lot of pixel art and that sort of stuff, and I've done pixel art for video games and companies and that sort of thing. Also have done like freelance art and that sort of stuff. Okay, so what am I doing? I don't know. I'm just kind of going on a tangent. Okay, so this is this cactus here, or it's gonna be here. And yeah, Going to select that there and just kind of so I have more space to work with. And I guess I'll just kind of continue with these tiles here, I suppose. It's like a good green. I like that green color. It's kind of like a swampy green, kind of interesting. And I guess a cactus has like these columns, or what do you call it? I'm sure there's like a name for it, some term. But yeah, it goes up like that. There's like a term for like the green part of the cactus, because it's like a weird leaf or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not thinking right. But isn't it like some sort of modified leaf that can like hold a lot of water or something like that? I don't know. Like plants are designed for specific reasons. Like to hold, if like it's dry, it's in a dry environment, it like designed to like hold water and store it. So that's why it's like shaped specific ways. I think it's something like that. I'm not an expert or anything. You have to use your reasoning skills and think about like why stuff is the way that it is. Just like when you're drawing, like why am I drawing these lines? Because I'm trying to convey something. And like, what am I trying to convey here? And what do I have to do to convey it, basically? All these different questions. And you think about art. Some people think it's just easy, right? You just draw stuff, but there's a lot to it. Maybe I don't like that green because I don't want the cactus to have like two similar colors to the grass, because that's a little kind of weird in my opinion, because it's its own thing. It needs its own kind of color in a way, just kind of separate it slightly. It's still green, but maybe just slightly different green. But if you're trying to be like conservative with your colors, you might use the same colors, so whatever. Depends what you're trying to do. And also, like, I don't know, maybe like more like a neutral color, a grayish green. Maybe that's a little too light. So maybe I could kind of create like a intermediary value between those. So I could just like eyedrop both and watch the scales here change. I'm just watching them change as I eyedrop them between them, and I could just kind of move them slightly in between where they were to get like this intermediary value. See, that looks pretty good. I moved it. I don't have to move it anymore because I know it's in between those others, and it just works. It just works naturally. I like when that happens, when things just work. And when you think about like how stuff's structured, the way things are, they just work. Just like how they just work. Their styles and their habits and that sort of thing. That's why you have the different professions and the doctors. You don't want an artist doing a doctor's work, basically, That just wouldn't work. You'd end up with like people with like 4 arms and 4 legs and things like that. I don't know. That just doesn't work. It might work, but it'd be like confusing. It's also kind of interesting, like the way your body like is designed and that sort of stuff. How you have one side and another side, and there's like these two sides to it. They kind of bounce off between each other, or there's like this oscillation to everything, like the left and right movement of the legs and the arms, and the way you breathe in and out. It's like an in-out oscillation, like this wave pattern. the way your eyes blink, and the way you sleep and then become awake. It reflects like the patterns in the universe, basically, like with the moon around the earth, how it like affects the tides and makes the tides rise and lower, how the earth turns and becomes like light and dark. Like there's this pattern that's kind of reflected in everything, and that's I like to think about that a lot. Makes you kind of have an appreciation for stuff like in a different way, or makes you like kind of understand stuff a little better. I don't know. At least it makes me feel that way. So I'll place these tiles in the scene, and maybe I'll place that there, and there, and there, and there, and just do the same thing over and over again. Like the clicks of the mouse button, like on, off, on, off. Like all these little details are basically like, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much about it. But yeah, I'll put this here and like that. So I kind of want to start making it round. Yeah. You gotta make this cactus. So it's like that. I'm just gonna keep that there for now, and then I'm gonna I want more of this, the bottom of it. So I need to make more tiles that kind of go around the side. Maybe I'll just, I don't know where to place the tiles. You know, I'm not too experienced with like planning out where tiles are. Because as like I'm primarily a 2D artist, and I'm still kind of learning how to do 3D stuff. But that's kind of fun, I guess. You get to see me kind of struggle with things, I guess. It's also like good thing, like trying new stuff. It challenges your mind to think in different ways when you try something new. Like if you stop doing like the same type of work, if you change the work that you're doing, it's just see, I'm trying to talk and do the same thing at the same time. I'm trying to think like how I want to align the details along this top edge with the details along the bottom edge of this cactus here. And I'm kind of concerned like with the shape of this darker value here and how it wraps around and how it will connect to these other tiles. But I can just kind of use this. I don't even know if this is going to go here. That's just kind of the fun of it, I guess. Figuring things out. Should it be like rotated like this to the side? I guess I could do it like that, and then put it something like I don't know, there, and then take this vertice and kind of put it up there. So now I have that like that, and then I can like change the pixels and make them kind of connect better. And I could also like place this tile here just to do the same thing on this side. So I could just kind of select this vertice, put that over here, put that down there, and that maybe. So now I have those in place, and then I can just kind of go back in here and start pixeling the details, kind of making those details connect and flow better. Even though these tiles are separated from those other tiles and in their own area on the texture, because they're placed in the 3D scene, I have an idea as to how they will flow, basically. So I know like there's a green there, I could just kind of put it like that. I don't know. Maybe this isn't the best way to do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. See, it like creates like this weird jagged look to it. I don't know if I like that. It's kind of weird. What should I do? Whatever. I'll just leave it. It's just one piece of everything, right? It all works together and the mind will fill in all the blanks. That sort of thing. You know, when you look at like art, a lot of people's art, not everybody's, but some people have like styles that are very rough and like, what's the word? Kind of, I don't know. Just, kind of quick looking. Like it has like a vague, rough look to it. So there's different ways of expressing things. I'm just kind of thinking. See, like I don't know what the best way is to convey these details down here, so I'm just kind of what's the word? I'm just trying that, see how it looks. Actually, it's a little weird. I don't know if I like that. Because if you think about like a cactus and how like the anatomy of it, why would the leaf part be going, why would the leaf part be fanning out like that into the roots? Player Lou thinks it's a 10 out of 10. I don't know about that. I have a different opinion about it. I think this looks really kind of strange. I don't know. I think when I think of like the base of a cactus, it should like go in like this, like that sort of thing. And these down here, there should be like some separation between the different anatomical parts of the cactus, you know? Like there should be something that differentiates between one part of it and another part. And right now this top part's kind of blending too much with the roots. So I don't like these green colors that kind of flow in here. Maybe I need to like change these into more of a root type of thing and maybe like darken it up a little. See, so now you start seeing some changes occur. That's what I'm looking for. Some changes here. And maybe you could have like a little bit of some coming down into the bottom part, but I need to like differentiate between things, between the top and the bottom, and create a context as to like what the situation is that's going on here. If I said that right, I'm not sure, but yeah. So I'm like thinking maybe like more roots down here basically. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Basically, some roots. And I don't like that right there. So, I probably have to change this part right here as well. So, it's kind of adjusting things. Maybe I'll just kind of draw over all of that. And maybe these parts right here, I'll just remove those green areas, just so that like there's more of a distinction between like the leafy part and the part that is the root. So I'm looking over here as how these details flow between tiles, and I'm like modifying that so that it flows into each other. And I think that looks cool right there. That's awesome. I like that. And maybe some black part to kind of go underneath that root and make the root pop out. Can you see that? And the root kind of goes up here. And maybe I'm also thinking, I have an idea now. I have an idea. I have a good idea. We have this root here. But now I'm going to put a little highlight just right there. Maybe I'll change the color slightly and make it a little bit more orange. Maybe it won't be as bright. Maybe bring down the brightness level. There we go. It's a little more. It's a little bit more of what I'm thinking. So it adds a little bit of a highlight there. And maybe there needs to be maybe just a little slight highlight there, and maybe create a little bit more sharper edge. Bring that down a bit. Maybe up like that. For some reason, I want this to be a little sharper there, just so that it kind of juts out and gives a feeling that it's coming out. And maybe we could kind of create some more straight structure right there, just to kind of, actually maybe it could kind of go underneath the other one. Kind of go out the side like that. I don't know. We have some kind of design, some kind of structure stuff going there. Get rid of that little green pixel. Maybe some dark color right there. So now we have like some stuff going on there that's kind of interesting. And we can do it for the other side as well. Just kind of figure out how to organize the roots. I kind of like the kind of sharp right turns to it, because where it's sharp, it kind of makes it pop out a little bit inside your mind. Creates like this interest at that right angle. Kind of makes it kind of pop out more. And we could have like some other roots as well. And maybe like there's like a cluster of like roots like right here, just kind of flowing down together. And yeah, maybe soften the part down there so it kind of blends away. Maybe do that, like that, something like that. Kind of break up the darker, those darker values, and have like darker roots in there, you know, darker structures, lines, or whatever you want to call it. And then maybe take like this highlight here and just kind of put it there. So now if you're looking in the 3D scene, see how that like pops out more? And maybe have like a couple roots that are like next to each other like that, going up. Although now it kind of goes up right there. It's kind of weird. Wonder if it'll look better to the side. Maybe I don't like that there. Could put it, I can put it like that, so it kind of flows up into there. So I'm just kind of creating like this root system. And yeah, so I don't know. Put that back right there. And then I'll just kind of look around the scene, see how things are looking. Maybe I'll zoom out a bit, get it from a different scale. That looks kind of cool. And yeah, so we have that. We have some grass, we have some dirt, we have some rock, we have some roots, we have some cactus thing going on there. Yeah, the contrast feels a little better. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I guess I could work on these roots. I could like pixel a little bit more, or I could add to the 3D scene. Let's see, what should I do? I could just kind of I wonder if these tile together. I'm just curious, like if because I could just do that and make it taller that way. Now it looks taller. All right, see you, Lou. So yeah, maybe create like a top to it, like that, like this tall cactus thing. And maybe I need like a top to it. I just realized I haven't saved. I just saved it right now. That's weird. Should have saved it more often. But so now I want to add some. I want to add some tiles on top of this, but I want to like extend the tile set up a bit, so I could just kind of resize the tile set. I could change which direction the canvas gets resized from. So I want to select this color so that this color gets put in there. And that'll be the canvas color when I resize it. And I'll just resize it by maybe that many. Actually, yeah, by 8 tiles. So now I put 8 tiles on top. So it's like that. And I guess I'll just leave it like that. Actually, no, I'll add more tiles because I want to like, what's the word? Powers of 2, basically. Powers of 2 dimensions. So we have a more extra space to work with. I already have plenty of space. I don't know why I'm adding more, but I just like when stuff is positioned next to each other. It makes it easier to like work with the tiles. Because I could like select an area and then go in here and eyedrop the colors and that sort of thing. Select this part and do that. Maybe I'll do that. Force me to make it a little brighter towards the top. We have that. And this will just kind of like act as the top of it, obviously. So I'll use it like that for now, and then I could just since these tiles are already there, I could just kind of hold Alt and press left key, and it'll apply that texture to the tile. But as you can see, it's rotated, so I could just rotate it like that. Hold Alt, and left click, and now it's like that. I don't have to redo any of the positioning of the verts. It just applies the texture to it. And then I can select this one, hold Alt, click it, and now it's like applied to that tile. So that's cool. And there'll need to be like a top to it. So yeah. I'll just select this here, and then maybe I'll select one of those colors and do something that, I don't know, maybe something like that. And select this tile here and do something like that. Now I have an idea as to like how the top of it is. And this is like the corner of it right there. And that goes up there. And I'm kind of looking in the 3D scene as I do these details, just kind of figure out how the stuff flows together. Something like that. Just so that it gets like the grooves in the same kind of location basically. Then I could kind of go down here and add a bit of that, just so that it kind of like flows. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to do the job basically. I don't know, it depends how perfect you want it to be. Maybe I can move that over a bit. It's kind of cool looking. I like the top of it. And we can kind of take some of this darker color, just kind of gradually put, or yeah, gradually? Is that the right word? Sparsely place it so that it gradually transitions. That's what gradients are. It's like a scale between one thing and another thing, kind of transitions towards the other. So we have like these details. We have more of the darker gray or darker brown down here, and then it slowly gets more sparse towards the top. And that creates this impression that it's becoming lighter. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. And we could also add like some what are they called? Spines. Add some spines to it. But first, I want to make it a little bit rounder. So I could select these. This is going to be difficult. Split it there, split it there, there. Now we have more verts to work with. So move that. Something like that. It's a little rounder there. Change some of the triangulation. I guess I'll split those just to kind of keep the vertices together. I don't know, I guess that looks all right. And I'll probably split these as well, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. Looking pretty good. Want to connect this part right here. So I'll use this towel right here, why not? And I'll just kind of draw this like that. I guess I'll place it into the scene. That. And just do that. Now it's there. And I'll go back into edit. Just kind of draw the details. Make it transition. Kind of blend it together, basically. Blend in the colors. Smoothing it out just so that it kind of looks like it connects. You know, when things are integrated together, incorporated, that sort of thing. Feels like it's meant to be that way, like it's combined, like there's this unity there. That's looking pretty good. Really, maybe need to do that. Although you see right here, now there's kind of more of a distinction between this side and this side. So you see that? There's this like sharp line, sharp change right here, because all these details creates like this contrast between these lighter colors, these lighter pixels here, and this darker pixels right here. So that doesn't look like it connects. There's like a disconnect, like a division, basically. That's what it is, division. It looks divided, so I don't know if I like that. I mean, it's all right. It could be like that. It doesn't. If you look at the whole, like zoomed out, you don't really notice it that much, right? But because I'm working on the details, it's more noticeable to me. So maybe that's like something I could just kind of ignore. Because I know, like, generally speaking, people that look at it, they're not going to notice that. They'll be too busy looking at everything else, right? But then, like, for some people, they'll be like, hey, wait a second, what's going on right here? Let me look a little closer. Wait a second, there's like a division there. What's going on? That sort of thing. So, like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, if you're an artist and you're creating stuff, you kind of get like a little, what's the word? I don't know, too stuck on specific things. But I don't know, I guess that looks all right. So, yeah. It kind of blends in to the cactus now. That's cool. I like the way that looks. And so, like, as I was making this, I was kind of envisioning it as like some kind of side scroller type of thing, like where you like run into the side on this platform here. You're like standing and jumping, and maybe you have to jump over this cactus or something like that. And maybe the cactus has like some arm or branch that pokes out to the side. You jump on top of, that sort of thing. I could do that, create that if I want. I'm trying to think what to do next, what to create next, because I didn't really have too much of a plan with this. So if anybody has any suggestions, just let me know. That could bring me some inspiration and that sort of stuff. So let's see here. I could look at it without this background on, see how that looks. And I could turn off the lines. That's kind of cool. Just kind of like fun looking at it in 3D. Seeing how things change as you rotate stuff. I could like take these and do that. Whoa, look at that. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I'll keep that. It's like a mound of dirt now. Okay, so I wonder if I could just use one of these tiles over here, kind of reuse tile. Maybe I'll try reusing this one. That. Maybe maybe this one works better. And I want something. Maybe I'll do that tile here and I'll just kind of draw that. And do something like that. Just scribble over it. And I'll take this one, put it there. And maybe I'll move those out just slightly like that. Something like that. And then I'll go back in here. And I'll just kind of add some details and things. Kind of have like the sand, dirt stuff kind of flowing down a bit. Need a softer color to transition it. Maybe have some rock underneath. Just kind of give the impression that the ground's kind of flowing over it, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Looks pretty good to me, I suppose. And maybe a little darker up here. I could put some dithering, make it a little bit sandy, sort of thing. All the different type of textures you could use to give the impression of specific feeling that it has. I don't know. Looks kind of interesting. Just experimenting a bit. So that's kind of cool. So maybe do something like that. Doesn't have to be so perfect there. I like that. I guess that looks all right. Okay, so we have that on the side. Looks kind of cool. Cactus going on there and stuff happening. Maybe move that around, just adjust stuff, see how things look from different angles. I could change the way that triangulates itself. Maybe something like that. Seems all right. Also do something over here. make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. I'll just leave it there. I don't know, subtle changes like that have a little bit of an effect as you move stuff and look at different angles. Maybe I could see here. Wonder if this tile works down here. Like if I place it there, does that look all right? Should it be a different tile? I guess it works all right. Sometimes a little bit of a division kind of keeps things interesting. If everything's all smooth, then I don't know. Your mind needs some structure to it to like grab hold of. You know, if everything's all fluid and incorporated together, you'll just be like swimming around with it inside your mind. So like that division right there at the bottom and the side, just kind of a little bit more interesting in my opinion. Yeah, I could put that there. I don't know. And then maybe that. So like it kind of goes off to the side. Kind of juts out a little bit. I could change that tile if it doesn't look too good there. But maybe I could do that so it connects right there. And then I could need like a tile that goes right there for some reason. Well, not for some reason, but for a reason, I guess. So there's no space there, basically. I don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm saying. So, yeah. Trying to think where to place it on the texture. I'll use this spot right here. I'll just add some random detail and then I'll select it and place it there. Like that. So now we have that connected. And we are going to... What are we going to do here? We have some dirt and some rock over there. So, I don't know. Maybe it's like a shadowed rock area. That's why I'm using this blue. Something like that. Looks kind of interesting. You know, you don't have to fill the whole tile with details. You could just do like half the tile like that. You know, just to give it some suggestion, you know, just to give a suggestion as to what's there. And then your mind will fill in everything else because there's already a bunch of detail around it. Just be like, oh yeah, cool, that's extension of the rock. And it's kind of flowing into the dirt and that sort of thing. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, I could change these tiles here. I can make these little better. Like I could add something. Let's do that. Just have to figure out where to place it. So I'll put it there. Actually, no, I'll put it to the side here just to keep it orientated in the same sort of way. I'll use that color there. And I'll just kind of quickly do a little bit of detail like that. And as far as this goes, just kind of do this, just kind of give me an idea as to like how, oops. How that is. And then I'll go in here and I'll just apply that there and apply that there like that. That way it kind of just has something there for me to work with while I do the details. And yeah, now I just kind of repeat the same patterns that I had before. I don't know like where exactly to put, you know, this leaf, or not this leaf, but this blade of grass. But that looks all right, I guess. I'm just filling in the space with the pattern so that your eye has something to look at in that space, and kind of continues with the same details. You could always redraw it if it doesn't look right. Just kind of experiment, see what works. Draw something, see if it works. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, change it. You know? Seems alright like that. Maybe we could have some like dirt going in over here. Maybe not. Maybe we could have some extra blades of grass flowing there. I don't know. In some cases, you want to kind of try and think how you're going to reuse the tiles. If you want to reuse stuff, because that might help in some situations, I guess. Just kind of looking at, I'm comparing this tile with the tile behind it over there, just to see how to replicate the same sort of details, just so that it looks like it integrates with the rest of the scene, you know? I don't want to start creating like a weird pattern that doesn't exist anywhere else. Then it would stand out too much and draw too much interest to it. In some cases, you want to do that. You want stuff to stand out. In some cases, you don't. See, that kind of stands out right there, but it's all right. I kind of like that. Maybe I'll do that like that. Just kind of adds a bit of interesting detail. Kind of cool. So let's take a look. I like how that kind of blends together. That's kind of cool. And oops, maybe I'll create some kind of darker rock. Maybe I'll choose a dark blue color. This, something like that. Or like the dark side of the rock. Something like that. I just did that really quick, but it looks alright to me. I'll just take that and that there. And then I can select those and just kind of move them right there. And maybe we could create something, other darker rock areas, just to kind of have stuff to build with. So maybe something like this. Could always redraw stuff later if we need to, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't align with stuff or whatever. Maybe put some blacks in there as well. Kind of cool looking. Let's see how that looks. Whoa, that's cool. I like that. I like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Kind of move. I could move these over. Maybe this one over. Maybe change that. I don't know. Something like that. I like looking at it from different angles. Just seeing how the details overlap and change and get like squished or expanded, that sort of thing. It just like stimulates like your perception and makes you feel a little bit more inspired, I guess. Because your mind's like trying to figure out like what's going on. And then it kind of gives you ideas as to what could be going on. And then you start thinking about what you could make it go. What you could do to expand upon it. Anyways. Like for these details like this dirt, I could reuse some tiles. Like I could just click over here and then place that there. They don't even need to be in the same order. I can change the order. But now it goes out further, so maybe like I have these over here that I could use like that. Now I guess we need some more tiles to go in between those over there. I guess we could use reuse some of these. And it just kind of adds to the scene, makes it a little bit larger. Yeah, just more to look at basically. But we need some more tiles to go in between here. I guess I could try and like move these out. I could select this and move that up, and it should keep all the tiles the same. So I could do that, like that. Now I could just kind of draw in there where those will be. I could actually just kind of just draw them, since I know I'll be using them there. And then I could just kind of select this area and go in here and just kind of select this stuff. And by the way, this is Crocotile 3D that I'm using. 3D program that I developed and allows you to use like tiles to construct 3D scenes, that sort of stuff. And so I'm just kind of drawing here. Getting an idea as to like how to place the details and stuff. Since these tiles should be lighter, I don't want to go too dark. And also there's this brighter color. Maybe I could like bring these forward towards this edge, because we have these lighter colors down here too on both sides. Maybe some tiles could be brighter than other ones. Something like that. Seems alright to me. I mean, it doesn't have to be too complicated. Although right here looks a little weird in the corner. See, now those tiles over there don't match up too well. Trying to think. Guess that looks alright. So that helps a little bit. Maybe I want to move these over to the side just like that. It's kind of cool. And maybe I could do kind of like the same thing in the back over here, kind of raise those up just a little bit. Give it like a little bit of a mound. That's kind of cool. All right, so I think I'm getting a bit exhausted from like talking and thinking and doing stuff. This art process, you know, takes a lot of energy. So I need like a break from it. So I'm gonna stop. But I think we did a good job here. Like I demonstrated pretty well how to construct a scene from scratch, basically. You know, we created all these tiles here, and I showed you how to draw them, and also how to like place them and think about how they connect and that sort of thing. And I think you could use that information to create your own scenes, whatever they are. Maybe you want to create like some kind of city or a town or a jungle or something like that, or a forest or whatever. And yeah, that'll be fun. You create something, you should share it so that it can inspire others to make stuff as well. You know, it's kind of part of the reason why I do these, is kind of help inspire other people and give them some energy to want to do stuff themselves and that sort of thing. This is Crocotile 3D, so you could check it out at crocotile3d.com. It's available there. You could register a key for it to activate it, or you could download the demo and try it yourself. It's also on Steam. You could get it on Steam if you want. So yeah, you could try it for free though. You can download the demo, crocotile3d.com. There's a link to it. And there's also a Discord server with a lot of people on there that use it, and you could like talk to them if you need help. And I'll also be on there as well. You could ask me questions and that sort of thing. Or you could comment on the video. I'll be uploading this to YouTube, that sort of thing. Blah, 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 blah. All that sort of stuff, whatever. Hit the like button, whatever, subscribe, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'll see you next time.